We're going to start off talking about the Brentford striker, Ivan Toney, of course, eligible now to play for the Bees once again after completing his 8-month suspension from football. The 27-year-old was banned in May for breaking FA gambling rules, and Toney spoke to Sky Sports yesterday ahead of his return and said that he's open to leaving Brentford for a big side.
You can never predict when's the right time to move elsewhere, but I mean, it's obvious that I'd like to play for a top club. Everybody wants to play for the top clubs, fighting for titles and these kind of things. So whether it's this January, the right time was to be, a club was to come in and pay the right money, who knows? But my main focus is doing what I do on the pitch and let the background work take care of itself.
It does sound like a come and get me plea, doesn't it?
Almost,
if someone comes in with the right money, then I'm off. Is it disrespectful? I'm not going to say the club have stuck by him while his ban's been on, because there's nothing else they could have done. Right? He was banned, he couldn't play.
They weren't going to cut his contract with that.
No.
He's a commodity, isn't he? He's an asset.
But what do you listen? You famously, of course, sent a tweet out when you were at Spurs and you wanted to leave.
Remember, they wanted me to go.
Yeah, but they weren't accepting the offers that you wanted to get out of the club.
Different scenarios.
Totally different. Yeah, you're right. Okay, first question: is it disrespectful to come out and say if a big club comes in? This is Ivan Toney, by the way, who's been caught saying in a car about negative things about the club that pays wages. He was on holiday, and there's a famous video of him doing the rounds, of course, saying negative stuff about the club that pays his wages. Is it disrespectful now, right after his ban is finished, to come out and say if a big club comes in, I'm off?
I mean, listen, he didn't come out and say that per se, but what he's done is stated the obvious. Because
he alluded to that.
It's stating the obvious, because if any of the big sides come for you, currently where Brentford are, well, not even if where Brentford are, but a big side comes for you that are in the Champions League, competing for trophies, titles, of course you're going to want to go
but
there.
there's a way of saying it, right? The way of saying it is, listen, I'm contracted to Brentford, I love it here, my main aim is to help them this season, I really miss playing, I can't wait to get back into action at the weekend.
Yeah, I get all that, but let's be honest, how many times, Andy, and we've said it before, you're sick and tired of seeing these interviews where they ask the player the question and he gives you the same generic answer.
Okay, that's true.
Where he goes, so what do you want to do? I want to stay at Brentford, I want to fight for my spot. All that, and you end up walking out the interview or listening to it going, well, he's not even said anything. But at least in this interview now, he stated the obvious. He said something that a lot of people probably wouldn't say. He's gone, do you know what? Top club comes, I'll have to look at it. Because you're right, it's one career. Brentford have been fantastic for him. He's been fantastic for them. If they go and get something like 100 million, he's not saying he's going to put a transfer request in. He's basically stating the obvious. If someone comes with a big enough bid, I am open to joining a club that are competing at the top end of the table. And that's it. And Brentford will know that as well.
Okay. Is he the second best striker in the Premier League? First being Haaland, obviously. Other names I've got, right?
Before you say them names,
okay.
My number two, listen, it's a flip.
So he's not then?
It's a flip of a coin, for me personally. Isaac, who I think is just...
Yeah, prone to injury, though.
Yeah, but class.
Yeah, I agree with you. Fantastic player.
He would probably be second, Toney, and then it's whoever you want after that.
Well, would you put Alvarez in this bracket?
But he's not almost like a not an out-and-out striker.
I've got Solanke.
Okay, very
Callum Wilson.
Yeah, Callum's good.
Ollie Watkins. Mm-hmm. And someone I absolutely love, Evan Ferguson. João Pedro, you put in João Pedro?
He's decent. The only thing I'd say again is that if you look at it right now, Watkins has had a better season than him because he's played. Solanke's having the season of his life. He's playing really well. But if you take him at their absolute maximum, like Toney's up there. But I think Isaac at the minute is number two because he just looks class for Newcastle.
Okay. Another player that's playing his football abroad, if reports that we read it to be believed he's not enjoying his time in Saudi, Karim Benzema. Clubs looking for a number 9 in this window. We are led to believe Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United. If those two are available, I'm not suggesting they are, I'm just putting it out there. If those two are available...
Well, it depends on what as a club, you going short-term or long-term?
Well, one of the headlines in one of the outlets today is Benzema could cost Arsenal £38.9 million. I think that's loan fee and wages if they were taken to the end of the season.
Well, again,
is that a gamble?
Not so much a gamble because it's Benzema, one of the best strikers we've ever seen. And that's fact. But if you're looking long-term, then you go... And with Arsenal's model, it's about younger players, but I know Toney's not that young. You want Toney for the next 4 or 5 years. Rather than... Because if Arsenal get Benzema till the end of the season, you then got the same problem again. And Toney might be gone by then. Chelsea might have got him. So I would probably go long-term Toney. But Benzema, whoever gets him, from now to the end of the season, he's going to be incredible.
He's going to be incredible, right?
You think so, yeah.
Because it wasn't that long ago he was at Real Madrid. And when he was at Real Madrid, we were saying he's one of the best number 9s on the planet.
It just depends what he's got left. What juice he's got left. Because he's been in Saudi with his feet up. You don't know how competitive he's getting older as well. He's not young anymore, is he? But I'm thinking long-term for Arsenal. Toney could get 4 or 5 years.
If you could have one to the end of the season, because age does come into it, right? Toney's up 27, Benzema's the wrong side of 30. Is that right? The wrong. Yeah, that is. If you could only have one to the end of the season, who are you having?
What, and then nothing can be on that?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds bonkers, but to say Benzema, didn't it? But I think I'm still going to go Toney.
Are you?
I think. Listen, this is not Lifetime Achievement Award. Benzema is.
I know, but it wasn't that long ago he was playing for Real Madrid, winning Champions League.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago. Tony scored 20 goals last year.
No,
for
true.
Brentford.
No, true. But your side Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
You got Porto in the last 16.
Yeah.
Get past that, you're in the last 8.
Yeah.
Who's got more chance of pushing you towards lifting the Champions League?
Yeah, Benzema. But I almost feel like we get caught up in the whole Lifetime Achievement Award thing. You start looking.
No, we
back,
do. You're right.
We start looking back. Go, look, Benzema's won 5 Champions. I get that, but
Well, you said you'd rather have Kevin De Bruyne right now than Messi.
it's De Bruyne, the best player in the world, probably in that 8-minute cameo.
I don't want to have that debate. Okay, we'll have this one though. Ivan Toney or Benzema?
Who would you rather have at Man United from now to the end of the season?
Benzema.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, listen,
I think Tony's brilliant. I love Tony, right? And long term, I agree with you. He's 27.
27.
Right? He's a great number 9, and he knows the Premier League. I think that counts for loads.
And do you think Benzema would come here and hit the ground running? Because we've seen centre forwards come to the Premier League of that quality.
Yeah. Well, Ibrahimovic did it, didn't he?
Yeah. Falcao didn't.
No.
And he was one of the most elite in Europe.
True, okay.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.